right. All aboard, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting ready for a little live stream with horrible hissing noises coming through. Oh no! Hey, there we go. We are live. And yes, today I have the man of mystery, the man of intrigue, Jimmy Jeans. He is back with us. I've no idea what happened to the audio there, folks, but we're fixed now. We're good to go. And there he is, the man himself, the legend, Jimmy Jeans. How you doing, Jimbo?
I am doing fantastic, Kev. It's a lovely California day today. It's about 70 degrees. Birds are singing. Sun's shining, and no cars are driving by on my road. So it's fantastic, man. How you doing?
You know, in the Segway, man, catching some rays. You know.
I know. Well, you got to get that vitamin D.
Yep.
And no better way to get it than for free by the old sun up in the sky. And so,
You're right, dude. You're right. I'll tell you what, man. I'm not too comfortable doing streams with you these days. I look at you, and I think to myself, if I don't get a haircut soon, I'm gonna slowly evolve into Jimmy Jeans. Anne's laughing in the background because she knows it. I tell you what, dude. This hairdo of mine, I don't know what's going on. I had such a laugh the other night. My mum, she's like, "Oh, looks cracking, Kev. Looks great. You got your baby curls back. All the rest of it. All you need to do is put some product in it." Jimmy, what man on earth, what man on God's green earth puts product in their hair? Now, I've used hair gel in the past, but no real man calls it product. Can you imagine going into a shop in Glasgow? Imagine it and being heard saying, "What product do you recommend for my lovely new hairdo?" That conversation ain't ever happening. I ain't ever getting that woke. But yeah, if I keep streaming with you, I'm going to slowly turn into you. It's like you are future me. You in this matrix, this simulation we're in, right? You're like the earlier 1.0 of me. And I think that's what scares the shit out of me some days, man. I think this is me. I'm going to evolve into you. Me and Dave.
Well, you know what's funny is that the conversation we were having about hair and energy and all these different we were talking about it for a bit, and that's when I started growing my hair back then. So it's been like a year and a half since we had that conversation.
Yeah, well,
but
I must admit, Jimmy, as my hair length is growing, I'm finding an adverse effect. It's like I'm putting a layer of insulation around my quantum dome. It's like I'm not plugging into the mainframe anymore, man. It's getting heavy, It's not good, Jim. Not good at all. As a man that's used to having it, very shaved in, very, very tight, very high usually. Not good.
No, I know. I was high and tied for too long, and the thing about it is, man, if you're coming in for a job interview and you got tattoos from your wrists all the way up to your elbows, coming in with a little bit of hair on your head shouldn't be an issue these days. So,
Exactly.
hey,
Don't be so judgy. employers, don't be judgy over the way that us men choose to express ourselves through our hairdos now, okay? Listen, if I want to have a good hair day or a bad hair day, that's on me. Don't be judgy. Talking of
Yeah,
tattoos, got
maybe you don't
many,
want to
Jim?
use no.
You
Maybe
got
you don't
many?
want to use no products.
No, I don't do. We don't do products in Glasgow. Glasgow guys don't do hair products. But any tattoos?
Me?
Yep.
Not one, man.
No,
Not.
unblemished, man.
That's right. I'm not.
Unmarked.
You know what? You used to be a rebel when you had a tattoo.
A blank easel, man. I thought somebody
Now
back.
you're a rebel when you don't have a tattoo.
Yeah,
But you know, if
but
I was
the
ever gonna,
generations, your generations you went through, man, that must have been like some tough peer group pressure to be resisting the old branding.
man, I'll tell you what. When I was coming up, well, what it was about then, it wasn't about tattoos. It was about having an earring in your ear. And if you had your earring in your ear, you got your ass kicked. Especially if you didn't, if a lot of people didn't know one ear from the other, it used to mean something if it was in one ear.
Yeah, it was code. It was like, shh, need to know basis, man. You
Yeah,
know,
if
I'm
it's
gonna
you-
shock everyone. I'm gonna shock everyone here, right? Because you think, probably Kev, one of the more toxic guys that you see on YouTube. Us toxic men are a dying breed. I'm like a dodo. Make the most of me, folks. On some timelines, I'm already extinct, right? But talking of piercings, Jimmy, you're never going to believe this, right? I have had. Mr. Toxic, right? This is going to shock people because this is so soy. It's unbelievable. I don't know how we got here. Totally unscripted, unplanned. We're talking about how we've abused our bodies before we get anywhere near McBlast stuff. And I've got a cool Scottish space story for you today, folks. But when I was in the army, right? I had my now get this. This is gonna sound so weird. You're gonna think, is this the same Kev that we know now? I had guess what I had pierced, Jimmy. No. I know what you're thinking. But no, it wasn't that. All right, it wasn't
that's
that
good.
first thought. But
That's
it was
good.
like 3 or 4 inches up from there, man. No, it's not 3 or 4 inches, you dirty buggers. My belly button, dude. I know. What on earth's name? How soy is that, Kev? Why would you do that? Well, we were in the army at the time. I know, Jimmy. I know. And it was like one of these drunken type bet things. And I was obsessed with my 6-pack. I know. Mr. Vane at the time. And I got convinced to get that pierced. But that's not the worst piercings I had. No. Because when I got out of the army, I thought, well, I'm going to totally rebel. Right? Totally rebel. Couldn't have piercings and things like that. So I went and got what pierced? My eyebrow, dude. So back in the 90s, I was looking like a right potential soy man. Pierced eyebrow, pierced belly button, tattoos.
Was it your left eyebrow or
I'm
your
not going to
right
actually indulge you in that part of the conversation, Jimmy. Because, hey, with cultural differences, it might mean something in your country and it might mean something totally different here.
That's what I'm saying. You can see the right ear or the left ear meant if it was in your right ear, you were gay, and if it was in your left ear, it meant you were straight.
Yeah.
But a lot of the jocks on the football team, they didn't know that little piece of information. All they'd see is some earring and some long-haired kid go down the hall.
Jimmy, I spent a year, and bear in mind I was in Amsterdam for many of those months. Some I remember, some I don't. Wondering why I was getting the attention of my own type, wondering why I was seeing people of my own sort looking at me, and I had the cheek to get kind of triggered at them. Little did I know I was almost inviting these people in, dude. You see, you got to know what you're doing before you put holes and markings on yourself, folks. That's the moral of my little story. Yep.
And it's the same thing with the bandana in your back pocket. You know, if you got a rag hanging out of your back pocket, depending on what color it is, it means what you do.
Oh, hey.
What pocket it's in.
Does it like refer to just the tippage? Anyway.
I mean, well, no. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, it's a way that street prostitutes show, what they're into, and the different colors have different meanings to people. I mean, I don't know what the code is.
Yes, he does. But anyway,
all I know is I always had my bandana in my left pocket.
You see, the fact you had any bandana in any pocket, you were running a gauntlet. You were taking a hell of a risk. There's some people out there don't know the difference from left or right, and you were giving mixed signals, man.
Well,
That's
all
on
I'm
you.
saying is, if I
That's
ever
on
had the
you,
opportunity,
Jimmy.
if I
That's
ever
on you.
wiped the sweat off my brow with my bandana, and I was gonna stuff it in one of my pockets, I would
There's a
definitely make
story
sure it
going
was with
somewhere
the
that could
left.
be incriminating. Do you want a lawyer here before you go any further with this? Really? Really? I'm only joking. But
No, I
folks,
don't. But no.
we are gonna have McBlast off. Yes. So our little pre-show streams, and if you haven't guessed today, Jimmy's gonna be on the main Kev Baker show. We usually get one or two topics we can kind of look at. We chill out, we PPP. You know, we just kick back, we relax. And today's story, I tell you, it is a thing of beauty. I'm full of pride. It involves Scotland. It involves space. It involves rockets. We've got Sidvich in the chat room. He a long time
I
ago
can't see
now.
your screen anymore. You're not sharing screen with me.
Good. I'm going all incognito. Yep. So Sidvich, he informed us about the little known about Spaceport in Norway. And we can go and take a look at that again, possibly. But there's also going to be something like that set to open and set for blast off in the very near future, right here in Scotland. But before we get there, I'm going to come into the chat room, say hello to some of the people in there. Thank you all for being here. And if you noticed on your way in today, you would have seen up in the top left-hand corner some new badges. There's also Schrodinger's
Sweet.
cat. Yep, we've got the cone, we've got Mothman, we've got PPP, we've got a safe zone. That there, ladies and gents, on the top is the loyalty badges for our new members, which will be getting activated in the next couple of days. You don't have to be a member. It's something we used to have on the old channel. It was good fun. And there's a taste of some of your first round of emojis, so keep an eye open for that coming. Yeah, we'll get the members only streams back on. It's good fun, and it's a real help. It really helps us do what we're doing here and keeps things going. So if I go into the chat
Yeah,
room,
we did some fun ones, man. There were some pretty funny ones, man. Back when we did the whole we brought the doll collection out.
oh, your creepy doll collection, that's right, dude. So we've got Brian in there, Tori, Zoe, Mark, Weapon, Connie, Becky, Spooky Andy. Spooky Andy says the bandana thing's too funny. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. We've got Karen in there. Good to see you, Karen. Zoe, I think I got you. Eli. Polynation. And our very own Jules last night was over on the open mic with Polly on Discord. It's going really good, that. Good getting to hear all of our audience out there, as opposed to just seeing your name, you know. We have got Lewis in there, Greg, John, Little Glob, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know how me and Jimmy get into all these strange topics when we hook up. We don't plan any of it, it just happens. Yep.
Well, you just don't want to be caught in the wrong area, you know, with the wrong
no, you don't,
setup.
dude.
That's what I mean. I mean, there's people that like literally they get tattoos written in Japanese. They don't even know what it means, and then Japanese people see that tattoo and everybody's like pointing at it and laughing because people get these tattoos that mean something that makes Japanese people laugh.
A tribal band. We can get it. You can just about see it up there. Tribal band thing. That was some crazy like award-winning tattoo shop in Tampa when I was over in America, man, when we got branded in the army. I get it. They want you to have tattoos on, so it's easier to identify you. I get it.
You're no stranger to pain, then.
No, I like a bit of pain, man. Oh, a bit of pain. It brings the pleasure, dude. So we got Sidvich in there. Patrick.
It's a fine line between pleasure and pain is what they say.
Now, we've got Patrick Bilozerchev. Now, that, my friend, is a good Eastern Europe / Russian name, comrade. You're more than welcome here. And people who say, that Kev Baker, he's a communist. No, I'm Kremlin Kev. Come on. I was Russian before Russiagate was a thing. Come on. We've also got Cheryl, Lisa Crazy Donald. She's really happy to see you over here, Jimmy. That must be one of your big fans. We've got Saint Marionette. King Sweet was first in the chat room, and Wilcock beat him to it and thumbed the video down. What a bloody day it is, eh? That bloody Wilcock, pesky Wilcock. Wait till I get my hands on you. But anyway, let's go and take a look at what's happening with Scotland and space. And this is super cool, folks, like as in super cool. Check this out. The UK's first commercial rocket will lift off from Shetland Spaceport in 2021, Jimmy, amid rumours that Lockheed Martin is planning to base its UK space launch operations on the tiny island of Unst. Now, the tiny island of Unst is literally like the pimple on like the real underbelly of the planet that is the Orkney Island. I'm only joking, it's not that bad, but it's a pretty insignificant island. Not many people out there will have heard of Unst. Well, we're about to have Unst on the map, you see.
I've never heard of it.
No, Jimmy, there's people in Scotland who've never heard of Unst. Don't worry about it, dude. It's not a popular place. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm going to be hated by people of Unst, innit? So it says here the Shetland Islands have been picked as the location for the UK's first commercial rocket launch in 2021, when Lockheed Martin will put a small satellite into orbit. Now, Jimmy, what is it with all these satellites right now? Bear in mind, used to be a satellite communicator in the army. Got nothing against satellites. I don't have some like, satellite phobia, right? I'm watching another one of the Starlink launches the other day. And there's just big, literally, satellites for as long as you can see. And they're letting them go, and they're like, yeah, that's 63 to go. Now, bear in mind, these things are going up all the time now, every couple of weeks. People seen big strings of lights in the sky. How people still don't know that Starlink's up there, that's a bit beyond me. You must be living under a rock to know that Musk hasn't got lights in the sky now. But, it's phenomenal, because these are just the ones we hear about, Jimmy, right? Who knows how much is going up there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those little, white lights going by in the sky that people see, that they thought were UFOs all these times, were just satellites going by.
The Starlink ones are kind of obvious, though, innit? I mean, it's more like a train of them,
But they have micro satellites now that you can't even see. You don't need a rocket to launch it. And that's the thing too, is that's what's so, like you're saying, a lot of this technology is being moved off world. So, the first thing that goes through my mind is, well, if everybody knows everything's going off world, then the best thing for people to do is develop killer satellites. Just take out somebody's satellite and, there knocks out all their communication, because people are relying on that. Because he's trying to say 5G on every square inch of the earth, There's going to be mind control beams.
See, that's crazy talk. But it is going to be like good. It ties in more with the Internet of Things and the data. But that in itself, you could extrapolate out.
I know. Well, you know what the thing is, though, dude. Realistically, let's step into the future and let's not worry about the rumors and people talking about what they're talking about. And let's just say, at the point that you have internet access, the hardest thing about getting high-speed internet access to a place is to run cables. If you can eliminate those cables and put internet all over the face of the earth, then that means every square inch of the earth could just be its own autonomous little community in the middle of nowhere, doing whatever. Long as you have access to that information, man, you're golden.
Do you know they're still putting? Remember the old pipe they had, the transatlantic pipe? Do you know Google are relaying that? They're actually relaying that, dude. Did you not? I didn't know that either until the other day.
My grandmother worked for Bell Telephone during World War II, and she was part of the ladies that were making those cables because all the men were gone. I know, man.
That's pretty cool, dude.
I know, man.
Well, all of her good work has been ripped up, and they're putting in a new one.
Well,
listen, we'll get to that. We'll get through just a couple of these paragraphs, and then we can talk on the other side, right? Because I think this is pretty cool. Look, we are moving into the future. We're always moving into the future. And it's easy for me and Jimmy to sit here and be pessimistic as hell. But you know I don't like to roll like that. And Silicon Valley in America, we've got Silicon Glen over here. We've got good game developing companies. We've got youngsters that are getting pretty well trained on coding, things like that. I'm looking to the future. I'm thinking, well, if we're bringing space industry in here now, these have to be good things. And I know people will say, but Kev, it's Lockheed Martin. That's one of these military industrial complexes. Well, albeit, but we're going into the future, folks, okay? And I think having a spaceport in Scotland, of all places, Jimmy, that's pretty cool. So it says here, the island of Unst has been picked as the location of a spaceport, and Lockheed Martin is moving its 23.5 million grant to the island. That almost feels spookily similar to when Glasgow won the competition to be the smart city. I wonder how many residents there are on Unst to begin with. But I wonder if they were consulted about this. So it says if the spaceport on the small Scottish island is given planning permission by local authorities, the move could see dozens of new jobs generated in the area. And Lockheed Martin is using the UK Space Agency grant to identify a vertical rocket launch site. And pending planning permission, that will be the Shetland Island. According to Lockheed Martin, the first satellite launch from the UK will be used to collect data from space that will help drive growth across the country. Now, I don't know what kind of AI package, I don't know what they're planning doing with that. But Jimmy, Scotland, Spaceports, McBlast stuff, man. What do you think? Pretty
Totally.
cool?
It is cool.
I think it's cool, dude.
And it totally, I mean, there must be, see, that ties into, there must be something special about Scotland. Like we can always see, we can see through antiquity. For some reason, there's some special thing going on in Scotland. So it doesn't surprise me.
Do you think this is because of the geography as well, Jimmy? Do you think this is more aimed at the Arctic? Because the Arctic's a contested piece of real estate, right? Because you got Russia, you got America, you got all that oil probably that's going to be opened up, and you know, I would imagine shooting a satellite up that close to like the Arctic, it just puts it in perfect position, right? I don't know much about rocketry, okay, but I'm pretty sure that'd be a nice global kind of a polar orbit.
Well, it makes you wonder why is there a spaceport in Kazakhstan?
Yeah, that must be, yeah.
I'm just saying, you look at Kazakhstan and the way it's set up geometrically from space. I bet you if you look down on Scotland, you probably see a bunch of the same stuff you see when you look down. Well, you're going to find,
because Moscow and London are pretty much on the same line of latitude. The only thing that stops us getting Siberian winters is the Gulf Stream. You know, that comes across from the Gulf of Mexico. But when it comes to distance from the North Pole and things, yeah, I get where you're coming from. So it must be something to do with coming off the planet at that point. Pretty weird, pretty cool. And
it is cool, man. Maybe you can go get a job over there. I mean, how many people working in space do they have? I mean, just go show up. Hey.
How do you get a job doing that? That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Would you train as like a space avionics engineer? That's a pretty niche market, man. If you're like, you know what I'm saying? There can't be many of those kicking about in Scotland, right?
Yeah, you're probably just sitting at home and you just get this call. Kev, we're doing a launch today. We need you to come on down.
Jimmy, I am a rocket. I literally am a rocket. You don't want me flying rockets. You've got Norway as well. That was another one we brought up. Hang on, I'll bring up the map here. I know it's not on screen yet, folks. 2 secs. Northern Europe. There we go.
Well, hey, see, while you're doing that, I want to let everybody know we are going for it today because my show comes on at 3 o'clock on Mondays on Revolution Radio. So today, while I'm on Kev's show in the second hour, 10 minutes after in the second hour, we're going to simulcast Kev on Revolution Radio on my show. And I'm going to be back on Kev's show. So it'll be interesting and fun and exciting, and there'll be a bunch of new people probably rolling around. So
there you go. Look,
nice.
Kazakhstan is actually, we're further north than Kazakhstan. You got Norway there. There's your North Pole up there, you know. So yeah.
I don't know. I saw this thing the other day, you know, and it's always such an intriguing idea to think that we've been completely and totally misled about, you know, the North Pole, and that there's this area there where it's just super temperate and nice and beautiful and this and that. The idea is some fantasy land with a big hole that goes into the center of the earth. That, I mean, you know, that sparks a person's imagination thinking about something like that. You know what I mean?
Dude, that was one of the things that really gripped my imagination, I suppose, when I was listening to Coast and all that stuff back in the day. How can it not? How can it not? And even if, you know, even if it pans out that isn't there, I mean, listening to that for the first time and thinking about it, that was pretty deep woo.
Well, you know, I mean, it's just such an interesting idea, just simply because you don't have to go anywhere. It's right here on this planet, you know, and it just seems like so many things line up, you know, with the eyeballs on the grays being all black, you know. I mean, those seem like,
Damn,
you know,
did you've just gone like, whoa, right into it. Look at me, he's throwing in greys and damn, dude, Jimmy, you're not somebody I really associate with a deep kind of woo that you're waxing lyrical on here, man. What is this, like some new Jimmy?
No. I mean, as long as it's on planet, and I don't have to believe people are flying from far, far away across the expansive universe to search out the blue marble. You know, as long as I don't have to go out on that limb, you know, I'm in the conversation. As long as it's, you know, here on the blue marble or whatever.
You see, Jimmy, that's why my ancient construction of a Stargate network, it opens it up for all. You see, then it
Yeah,
kind
that
of
makes more sense to me.
it negates and I get it. I get where you're coming from. You know, these vast spaces travel. I get it, dude. I'm with you. So in my highly plagiarized from Stargate 1 scenario, highly plagiarized, I think, you know, we can use the Stargate system to get around that kind of stuff.
I'm with you. And you know, what was really interesting too is I mean, you know, I've been around the alternative media, you know, circuit, you know, I've gone down all the different avenues, you know, and there was this one period of time where giants and elongated skulls were like part of the stuff that I just really, you know, let's go there, man. There's too much other stuff to talk about, you know, but as time went on, man, I started to lean more towards the giants, and I started to, you know, notice these elongated skulls. And the reason I'm bringing this all up and going down this long, drawn-out road
I
is
like it, dude. I like this road. I like this path, man.
This was the moment when I went and I was watching. There's a tape of Admiral Byrd from when he came back from his, you know, original voyages up, you know, and he's sitting there. It's the Longines. It's like the watchmaker Longines report or something like that. And he's sitting there, and I'm looking at him, and I look at him, and I realize Admiral Byrd has an elongated skull, man.
He's got a big forehead, dude.
Dude, when I look at the elongated skull on Admiral Byrd, and then I think about the story he told, it makes me kind of think, maybe they noticed. Maybe he had that elongated skull, and that was what made. That's what got him in the door.
Have you ever watched? You know the guy I bring on to talk about the Mandela, Chris Anatra, the quantum businessman.
Right. Yeah.
He done a video about Grissom, one of the astronauts. Grissom, I want to say his name is.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, right? It was really deep, man. Whoa, very deep. It was talking about how he was basically in communication with his spirit, his past spirit, or his spirit that is past. And he was explaining that when he was here in physical form, he was actually like an angel. an angel in human form. Not to say that you're like way better than anyone, but like had come here and manifested. The reason I bring that up is, Jimmy, I'm open to what you're kind of suggesting with the big elongated skull. Maybe somebody like Admiral Byrd. I'm not saying definitely, but let's just think about it in general, right? I think he called them walk-ins. I think that's maybe the term that people use for them. I don't know. I don't know what the nomenclature. I don't know the jargon for this, right? But why not? You know, why not if you can't get round all these vast distances traveling and things? Maybe you can send a signal. Maybe you can manifest here in our form in some way. Only, you know what I'm saying? Some hybrid type thing going on. Maybe that's where you get these important characters in history.
It could be. I mean,
Speculation
maybe
Island, folks. The Love Boat.
maybe.
We're
I
in
mean,
the back end.
I mean, so many people report, you know, when they're in a creative mode, that this information just comes to them. They all of a sudden, you know, just think of this song, or they all of a sudden think of this poetry, or they all of a sudden just start painting, you know, and they paint a masterpiece and people can't believe it, and they say, you know, hey, how'd you do it, Bob?
Polly in the chat room. Polly in the chat room. What, Christopher Walken's? No, not that kind of walking. Oh, Polly, I love you, man. Brilliant. Brilliant. When Jimmy looks up like that, he's not receiving communication from a blue chicken or anything. He's looking at his chat room.
Yeah, there's a computer over there.
Yeah, it's just in case anyone says, oh boy, Jimmy started channeling from a higher source or something. He's talking to the liaison officers out there in the solar system.
It's my handlers.
Yeah.
It's gone off the
Do they have hands, Jimmy? How many fingers do they have?
3.
Oh, you see, that's shenanigans there, man. A sixth toe, a third nipple, or 3 fingers, I'm out of there.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, hey, the inner Earth, it has a lot of qualities of interesting, you know, possibilities, you know?
I'm open to that. Yeah, why not, eh? Why not? You've seen some of the chasmous caverns down there, dude. There could be all sorts. We've got no idea, man.
When you think about space and you think about these aliens, man, you don't know what's going on in their skulls, man. Yeah, human beings have this need to search and travel and go here and go there, and you know this, but that's a human need. It's a human idea to even think that somebody else, some other being, has this need to go searching and looking and, you know, and all this. And then, because literally, if at the point that you are able to do that, I mean, wouldn't you just be able to, you know, replicate whatever right in front of your face without having to go anywhere? I mean, wouldn't you be the creator at that point? I mean,
I have to disagree. I think any sentient, self-aware thing that is on a planet must at some point start looking up and outwards and thinking, are we alone? So if that's the case, then we're all at some point thinking, are we alone? Now, whether we can get to find out whether we're alone or not, again, that's a totally different kettle of bananas and ballfish. Ballfish? I have no idea what a ballfish is. Kettle of fish. No idea, dude.
Delta fish.
Yeah, in this part of the quadrant, they're ballfish. Who knows?
But you know, yeah. But I'm just saying, though. I mean, if I'm saying from a technological standpoint, I mean, you know, you've done a lot of talking about tech and got into a lot of tech. So I'm just saying, from a technological standpoint, at the point that you can be there to be able to fly across the universe, or you'd be able to develop the technology to split into some Stargate formation and be able to go and land someplace else. I'm just saying, if you're at that point, wouldn't somebody who had those kind of powers be considered God? Because literally, I mean, if you look at the planet Earth and you look at everything that's on it, there is no question whether it's been designed or not. Everything fits together perfectly. Everything, man, I go out and look at my plants that are growing outside, and I can see the leaves reaching up. I can see the solar panels on my plant providing energy to force the flowers up. You know what I mean? There's no, and at the point that you can see the creation, you're only steps away from being able to do it yourself. So are we at the precipice, Kev, of becoming God?
I don't bloody know, Jimmy. Damn,
Just
dude.
make sure you always put your bandana in your left pocket. That's the main thing.
That is the main takeaway from today's show. Bandana and pockets and the etiquette. Bandana etiquette. Maybe we could write a book. Not banana etiquette, but bandana etiquette.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if you go through the portal. I'm sure it translates. It's one of those simple Illuminati symbolisms that translate from planet to planet. You know?
There's going to be turn up on some other planet. There's going to be eyeballs covered and triangles everywhere. That's going to happen, dude. How disappointing would that be, man?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, there's so much talk recently, man. More talk about Mars. I mean, people just want to go to Mars.
Mars is meant to be like, I was reading something about it. There's like a crazy plume of green stuff shooting out from it. Pretty cool. It's like a methane cloud. But I was thinking, you know, if there's methane things jetting out and stuff, that can't be too conducive to the health of humans. It's not a good day if you get caught in like a methane plume. I wouldn't imagine, Jimbo.
No, well, you know, there's a lot of, speaking of methane plumes, there's a lot of, you know, unusual earthquake activity going on in North America. There's like a 5.6 in North Carolina.
Yeah, Dutch Since, I think I've seen him covering that North Carolina. I think that's the biggest one in a while, right?
Mm-hmm. But these weird ones over, you know, Idaho and all these other places, they've continued since that one that made the news. You know, they've continued since. And recently, the one to watch is in California, is when you see down a lot of earthquakes around the Salton Sea down there. That's cause to be worried, man, about earthquakes in California. So there was a big swarm earlier today down there. It was interesting too, because like right after I was sitting on my back porch, man, and I noticed this like, I'm not even kidding, I'm not bullshitting you guys, I'm totally telling you the truth. My ears started ringing big time, but it was like a super low frequency. Okay, and I noticed it for a minute, you know. I mean, I was like, whoa, you know, that's different, you know. And then like an hour or two later, I noticed that there was a whole bunch of earthquakes down there in Southern California. So, I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds of miles from me. So I'm just saying, though, I did notice something. So maybe there was an energy, you know, wave that came through. Who knows? I don't know. It's interesting, though. I'm sensitive to it.
No, some people are, dude. I get it. Yeah, I get it, man. Again, I can only just touch wood and be very grateful I don't live in an actively seismic area. Not often, but I've thought about that when there's been big earthquakes in the past. You know, people in Japan. But that's like just a part of life, right? You know, it's rattling and rolling and shaking and. Damn,
you guys
dude.
had this a couple years ago, right? And then Christopher Everard.
We get about 10 in the UK. Because I remember there was one that got quite a lot of press, but when you look into it, actually up in the Highlands, you find that there's maybe below 2 on the Richter scale, but on average you get 10 a year in the UK. I always remember Johnny Whistles was absolutely petrified in case the dormant volcano under Edinburgh Castle ever woke up again. I always know that was one of his big fears. Anytime anyone mentioned Yellowstone, I know Whistles was thinking, forget Yellowstone, I'm thinking Edinburgh. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But thankfully, touch wood. I mean, Japan, dude. Remember when that big one hit? You seen the liquefaction of everything, and it was like, holy shimoly. I'd have been on the first plane out of there, you know? Gone.
Well, I've been in I was in the 1989 earthquake here in Northern California, and I was in the big earthquake down in Southern California. For the one that collapsed the 10 freeway, and so I wasn't down there when that happened, but I went down there after it was over to work because everything was just destroyed, and so there's a bunch of union work down there, so I was down there working, and but they put that 10 freeway back up in like unbelievably record time. I mean, that's like one of the artery freeways of the world over here. So, but yeah, man, I mean, that's what's scary is everything's normal, man, up until that 1 or 2 seconds right before it happens, you know?
People in the chat room talking about the Salton Sea, the volcano under there. Yeah, man. Earth changes, nature. Dang, when nature gets going, just step back. You know, because that's what you call real power, real force. That's crazy, dude. But listen, we've got
Yeah.
half an hour, and like Jimmy was saying, we're gonna be on TFR live, and then Jimmy's show will start in the second hour of my show. So he'll go away for 10 minutes or so and then come back on. And hopefully we can hook it up so that
I'm excited.
yeah, well, I'm not very
I hope we can
confident.
make it work, man.
Yeah, look at me here.
Out of
Look at this face of
all the
non-confidence.
years, hey, all the years we've been on the air together, you've never been on you've never been on my show. So this will be
Because
a
I'm a
first.
man of mystery. I prefer to keep my guest appearances to a minimum. In fact, I was on a show recently and I didn't even tell anyone. There you go. Yep, I was.
Well, the thing was too, I was always on super late for you. I mean, you couldn't when I was on, it was like early in the morning or something. You couldn't do your show. You couldn't be Kev Baker when the light was shining through the
I
curtains.
can't do Kev Baker in the daylight. Dave he's nocturnal, man. As the day goes on, as the early hours approach, I become more Kev. You know what I'm saying? I evolve into the specimen that brings you the daily show.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna get out of here and then take a
Yeah,
little
we're
break.
probably gonna start to wrap it up now. Remember, folks. Yeah, the badges and things that we looked at there. It's not live yet. It's in the process of getting reviewed, but that's just basically formality. But that'll be coming along soon. But I want to thank you all for hanging out today and all the other streams we do here. We had a great show last night with Bill Bean, Travis Short, and Lon Strickler. Holy heck! This website here, myself and Scotty, we often go to this website, and little did I know, we were joined by the guy who is the man behind that website. So we were talking to him last night about Mothman, Black Eyed Kids, a whole host of things. You can catch that now over on Bill Bean's YouTube channel. Just search for Bill Bean. His channel comes up at the top. All the archives are over there. But I am going to be getting Lon to come onto the Kev Baker show because there's so much me and him need to talk about. Also, hopefully going to be hooking up with a publisher or two so we can get access to people like Nick Redfern. Oh yes, all the people that kind of write on the websites that we go to typically. So listen, we're almost.
Plus, you got the epic journeyman coming on about the Mandela effect.
Yeah, man, we've got loads of guests lining up, and the reason I bring that up is because last couple of months we're like 1,300 shows in now. So with everything going on in the world, you know, things have naturally kind of slowed down. Things have been ticking along, but not where I want them to be. So now that we are starting to, you know, pick things back up again, I'm feeling good. The streams are going well, shows going well, really enjoying things. Time to bring in a new wave of guests, information, and step it up because nearly 1,500 shows in and we ain't going anywhere. No, we ain't going anywhere. And of course, you add to that all the pre-show streams, all the Freaky Fridays, all the Bill show now on Sunday as well. And hopefully, we'll be adding uploaded, produced videos to that soon as well. Now, I'll probably upload them over on the main channel, where I can show off some of these Jedi skills, Jimmy, with the After Effects. We've got a bit of graphics in the background again today. But I just want to thank all of you out there, whether you've supported the channel financially, whether you're just here. It's all the same to me, folks. These are all absolutely essential to what we do here. And I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're having a laugh. We're not going to save the world. We're not going to, you know, bring out any whistleblowers that only appear on YouTube. I'll try and protect you from some of the madness. And there's lots of madness right now. And along the way, with people like Jimmy, Scotty, all the other people that are coming into the show now as well. I'm pretty sure we can have lots of fun on this crazy little journey, Jimmy, because after all, James, it's just a ride.
Well, that's a fact, Jack. And there's no looking back. You just get on it and just keep going.
I thought you were going to burst into some kind of rhyming kind of Kev from Minnesota little ditty there, man. I thought you were going to rattle it off.
Thought I was going to cipher.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get out of here, folks.
What I was thinking, though, was I just had a really good time hanging with everybody and, all the listeners on the Kev Baker show. That's why, I come on over here and hang with you, Kev. I love you and your listeners. And
in a purely heterosexual way.
Right.
Because if not, it's going to look like you're, if not, it's going to look like you're like grooming me online or something, and it's not going to be good.
No, my bandana is definitely in my left pocket.
And I don't have a pierced belly button or eyebrow anymore.
Yours.
Keep your tip to yourself. We're out of here, folks. Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo. Okay, Jimmy, you can do your royal wave. Brain turns to black goo. You see, look, there he is. He's waving at the mothership. I'll tell you, any more of that, dude, and Cody Good's going to snap you up, man. I'm telling you, you look ready for LARP land with that stuff. Let me just channel in the blue chickens. Buck, buck. Buck, 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 buck.
How dare you!